How would you guys describe a mental issue? So for me, my definition of a mental issue is an accumulation of small eternal problems over time because you didn't have an outlet.
Hey rockers, welcome to Ology Psychology,
where you get to peer into the minds of the owners of Mama Rocks Burgers.
We're bringing you into our world, where we talk all things business, lifestyle, and our psychology.
Hi rockers, and welcome to Ology Psychology, episode 7. For those of you who haven't tuned in before, Ology is all about our lifestyle, our values, and we just chat in general, real talk about what we love about life, our struggles, and our mindset really. And we hope through our sharing that it can help you guys out there kind of really look at your own life and kind of think, what can I do better? How can I be more fulfilled, I suppose, because we're all on that journey of life together.
And we just hope that people can learn from the things that we've been through already, so you don't have to relearn from life. So we want to share our learning experiences with you.
Yeah. So please remind me, because I have Alzheimer's. What is this episode 6 about?
This episode 6 is about now I married 2 of you. Now, ladies, these are my 2 wives. As you can see, we're just from the wedding procession.
Oh, but
we're all about realness.
But we're actually on 7. So,
we're 7.
The next episode after the marriage one.
Okay. So that was a complete lie. So anyway, go on.
My second wife is a liar.
All right.
It's not weird at all. But anyway,
very strange conversation. I think because we're all wearing white, Moses is confused and delusional.
But I don't want you starting any weird rumors.
I was forcibly taken to the altar, and then they were fully dressed, and then they threw this white top on me, and then that was it.
That's what happened.
Men, we are in danger. We're in danger, men. We're not getting kidnapped.
It's a real shame.
Women are getting desperate, right?
It's a real shame
that's no desperation. I'm just saying we're in danger.
But we missed the last part of the ceremony because that was the sacrificial offering that we're supposed to do in terms of,
of Moses.
Moses, yeah.
Anyway,
we're digressing.
So what this episode really is about is we thought we'd come with some help for people who might be struggling out there. We wanted to give some advice on, the ways that we've used in our experience to help us to get to a happy place in times of maybe sadness or, anxiety, or when you're feeling a bit low during hard times, basically.
How to pull yourself out of a dark place.
Pull yourself out of that dark place. Yes. Yeah.
And what's weird is, I can't speak for myself, but over the last 6 months, I feel like it's been extra tough.
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know what energies are around, but I just feel like I've come across a lot of battles.
Yeah.
Not physical ones, but like mental battles. And I feel like a lot of us in life go through our own struggles, but we go out with a brave face, a smile, and we kind of try and sail through. And I think people should be more honest about what they're struggling with, because thank God I don't have any mental health issues, but I think it's a sliding scale. When we talk about mental health, you don't have to be committed into an asylum
to be mentally going through a mental breakdown.
But I would say that you said that you haven't got any mental health issues. We all go through stress. That's something that can really
more
battle against your mental health.
The traditional perception of what it means to be mentally unwell. I think that's why I said it's a sliding scale. I think everybody daily goes through a mental struggle. And if you want to call it a mental health issue, it is a mental health issue. Because
how would you guys describe a mental issue? So for me, my definition of a mental issue is an accumulation of small eternal problems over time because you didn't have an outlet. And the reason why my biggest issue with not having an outlet, especially even as a man, is the perpetration of what you're supposed to be in general, like by the society or by the media or by whatever. So
men are not encouraged to talk to each other if they have a problem.
Even just as human beings. So with men is like another layer. But even as human beings, I feel like there's a perpetration, like people are living so many fake lives out here because there's a perpetration of, if you are successful, this is how you should look. So you come into society looking at the thing, the media or the society telling you, like, this is the reflection of a successful man, reflection of a successful
So
woman.
what are these societal pressures?
And then you start to force yourself to fit that
into that model.
So you're no longer yourself. So the longer you're not yourself, the more you start, I don't know, dying inside or trauma.
I think what you've said is
Builds
actually what mental health issues are. Is when you have a distance between yourself and who you're trying to be, and that frustration of not being
For sure.
that person that you want to be yet.
For sure.
Exactly.
But the way I feel like what helped me was realize that I need to accept that it's a journey and that I'm not going to just click my heels together and then be that magical Natalie that I want to be. It's acceptance. Yeah.
Acceptance is a powerful point, actually.
Acceptance is a powerful
Yeah.
point.
Acceptance of your situation.
And of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of basically coming to being aware enough that you don't have to live up to the societal stereotype, but you can easily just also be comfortable by being yourself. So by the more yourself you are, the less mental stress you put on yourself. Can we say that?
Yeah, but I feel, based on what you've said, I feel like a lot of people, I'm not excluding myself from this. Actually, I am, because I'm not like that anymore. I've met people who care way too much about what other people think about them. Yeah. Like they're living for that false, that's the only word I can think of, that false image. That's not even
So
real.
it's living a lie.
For other people.
Yeah, so they're putting that pressure on
But
themselves.
I think that's majority of the population. There's a good chunk of the population, because even like when you look at from the dating scene, there's a stereotype of what men look for. There's a stereotype of what women look for. So at work, there's a stereotype of a good employee, stereotype of a bad employee. Like in every friends, there's a stereotype of what you require from your friends, what you don't require from your friends. There's certain expectations that have been put up by society, and now everywhere you turn, even family-wise, it's like you're not a man until, I don't know, you move out. And then you're not a man until you get this, you get that. You're not a woman until you have a baby.
A baby, but then there's so many characters that you have to be. So you have to be someone at work, someone at home, someone to your brother, someone to your sister, someone to your mother. So who are you?
All this, you're not yourself. The only time you're yourself is like when you're in the taking a shower.
On the toilet.
Your favorite place, huh?
Yeah, of course.
So
Who doesn't like the toilet?
I'm trying to think so we can share with people. I mean, for example, Natalie, do you feel that you are yourself, or do you take in all of these other things that people are trying to tell you that you should be?
Okay, so
and then how do you maintain? All right, so
I'm human, and I think we all have insecurities, and I think I used to care a lot more what people think of me, but now I care a lot less about what people think of me, because I realize that I need to live for me. And I used to struggle a lot with saying no, and I feel like, and having boundaries, because I also think that, I can't say that, or I can't do that because I might offend someone. But I feel like as long as I'm not killing anybody, and I'm not infringing on someone else's rights, it's healthy to have boundaries. It's healthy to say no, and it's okay. And I think a lot of people they feel like a pressure to say when inside they're dying. Like, I don't really want to do that.
No, I think I feel like I unfortunately I had always been the kind of person that not care what people thought, but I was kind of a people pleaser. So I always cared I never wanted to disappoint people or say no, or I was always very conscious of upsetting people. So I always wanted to do things, to kind of please them. But that's stressful in itself. Yeah. Like not doing anything for yourself.
Yeah, because now you leave yourself open. Because now by leaving yourself open, now other people are influencing how you are.
Exactly.
How you think, how you everything. And now by being a people pleaser, subconsciously, when you do something that you think is supposed to be appreciated by people, and then it doesn't get the reaction you are hoping for, you start beating yourself down because you start feeling, oh, okay, maybe I didn't do enough.
And that's where you start placing your value.
Yeah.
Like you start valuing yourself about, how people react to what
And
I
then
do or what I
you
say.
start lowering your value.
Yeah.
Your value,
Your value.
Yeah.
So because you start condemning yourself because it starts to run in your brain. That scenario runs in your brain over and over because you're trying to look for, okay, where did I go wrong? Where did I go? And then when you don't find where you went wrong, you just think it was you.
Yeah.
In general, that
Exactly.
was you.
And that's actually the kind of person I had to like unwire myself from being that person that always blaming myself for things. I was wired that way initially, but then I realized this is actually damaging me. It was causing me stress and anxiety, and I was like, "No, I can't. I need to change this."
But that's what we call a growing process because that's majority of people, all these depressions, all this, even suicides, is because they don't get to that point where you're like, this is not good for me. So they end up it's just poison in them, and then just eating them, and then you have things like, I don't know, stomach ulcers.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yes. So I feel like when you are unable to live in your power, it manifests itself in illnesses.
Yeah, because you're internalizing it.
Yeah.
So
it's energy,
you
and there's
can't
nowhere else
express
to
the
go.
feeling. It's got nowhere to go. Exactly. The energy can't escape your body. You're trying to repress the feeling, and then it just gets pushed into your body, literally.
Like cancer.
But now the question is, in a society where such a judgmental society, how do you overcome the fear of not caring if you're being judged or not, and now just fully being yourself? How do you become yourself in a society full of fakeness?
I feel like it's about positive self-talk. Like if you're quiet, well, I can only speak from my head, but when I speak in my head, it was all very negative self-talk, and it's stuff that I would never say to a friend.
Yeah.
So you got to start policing your own thoughts first. Don't worry about the external world. Deal with your internal world first, and I feel like you're in a much, much better place when you get.
Honestly,
to that
feels
point.
like there's a little voice in your head
that's separate
saying,
to you.
Yeah,
you're
separate
not
to you.
You're not
it's
good
really
enough.
mean to you.
Yeah, super mean.
Yeah.
And people should start telling themselves the good things they tell other people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Be kind to yourself.
You start being kind. So how when you see someone you respect, how you approach them, how you watch your mouth around them. Like for example, when you're around, I don't know, your elders, your family elders, your uncles, your or the grandparents, everyone. There's a way you watch yourself when you talk.
Yeah, there's certain reverence you give
There's
them.
you give because it's respect and it's all. So you need to take the same approach. You need to respect yourself
And
that same
apply it
level.
to yourself.
Exactly.
Because people keep calling each other kings and queens, but they don't treat themselves as kings and queens.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna be there, and let's say you're even talking about human rights and being like, we are all gods, or we are all kings, we're all queens.
When you need to be
But then
treat yourself
even
like
you
one.
yourself, when you're by yourself, you don't think of yourself as a king or a queen or a god or whatever terminology you want to use. How do you overcome this though?
It's a daily.
How do you get to that point?
No, I think
Daily
it's
growth.
a daily practice. Like I might come across as a psycho right now because I'm saying I just bought this picture and it says I didn't buy it, I photocopied it. I'm gonna win, and it's normally by my front door. And every time I see it, I want that to remind myself that I'm a winner. I'm not a loser.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you start believing your own story that you're telling yourself, you're going to attract everything that a winner deserves into your life.
Yeah.
So you need to start with your internal world. It's almost like you're a magnet and you're letting off, these forces or these energies. And if I'm negatively saying, I'm not good enough, then I'm going to attract everything that's not good enough.
Yeah.
Or I'm not valuable. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm going to okay, if that's what you're saying, I'm going to give you everything that's not valuable.
And we need to acknowledge whereby what the energies we allow into our life. So for example, things like simple things like from beginning with social media. From social media, when you're scrolling through social media, and if you're just scrolling through people's timelines and you're using those timelines to judge yourself, you understand? And now with every scroll, you're putting yourself down. With every scroll, you're putting yourself down.
Yeah, comparing your life to someone else's.
We need to start pick and choosing the energies we allow. Because whatever energy you allow in your life is the energy you will manifest.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you're the paranoid kind of person, you will allow.
It's about focusing more on yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on other people and what they're doing, why don't you you put a picture of yourself there, you know, with a queen's crown on.
No, I didn't put myself there because I'm just saying I feel like it's symbolic. So it's not like I'm looking at someone else. It's like that represents something to me. Just how like with
there we go.
Rihanna, like I love what Rihanna stands for. Like I love, not that I love the human Rihanna. I love everything that she embodies.
Yeah.
And she's all about authenticity and
freedom
being
of
yourself,
expression,
freedom.
yourself.
And everything she does within the brand is expressing that energy of freedom. And I feel like that's why she resonates with so many people, because that's the energy she's giving off.
Yeah.
What's the difference between being yourself and being selfish?
All right, I was going to make a completely different point, but it's fine. It's fine. No. I was gonna say something about the fact that it would be great if people could kind of idolize themselves. So you're kind of visualizing your ideal self in the future, who you want to be, and then instead of looking in, you know, on social media, all these people that have achieved things, why can't you think of yourself in the future and work towards that person? You get what I'm saying? That's the point I was trying to make.
I get that, and that's very, it empowers your self-esteem when you do that, But then also there's a very thin line between when you idolize yourself, because also we also know they're very big-headed people.
I'm talking about your future self.
No. I'm talking now in general. In general, there's people who are also big-headed, and these big-headed people think they're better than other people now. Yeah, there's people who over-believe in themselves and to the point of arrogance.
But that's
so where's the line? Where's the line?
That's what I'm saying. I think what you're describing is almost like impinging on someone else's free will. As in, for me to feel big, I have to bring you down. Because what does arrogance mean? If I'm arrogant, it means that I'm comparing and I'm contrasting, and to make myself feel better, I have to, something about you I need to tear down.
I'm talking purely about someone. It's about how you think about yourself. I'm not talking about in relation to anyone else. I'm saying take yourself away from other people and what you're seeing, and imagine your future self, and kind of put that on a pedestal. Work towards that person that you want to be.
Yeah, but do you know? I feel like everything is about comparing and contrasting in a positive way, and I feel like other people. Okay, you are the center of your own story, right? You should see yourself as what's the word, Moses? When you're the main character, the protagonist.
Yes.
You're the protagonist, right?
Yeah.
And for me to understand who Natalie is as a protagonist, the lead in my story, I need to reflect upon the Rihannas or the Samanthas or the Solos of the world.
Basically, have role models. Have role models.
So
it's great to have role models, but when you start looking obsessively at other people's pictures, there are two types of
that's a different
people.
conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that I'm obsessing about anybody else, but I'm saying that maybe people subconsciously don't realize that they admire that person because it sparks something in them that they can work on. Or, you know, I wouldn't know how to be better unless I know of like the Mother Teresa's. Yeah. Because it's an example of what good is.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's important to compare and contrast in a healthy way.
Of course.
Otherwise we're just empty vessels with nothing.
But that's
we
why
wouldn't know up from down.
The role model thing. That's why even a family unit is very important in society. You understand? Because when you grow up with the good example of a father and mother, there's a equal balance of the right feminine energy and the right masculine energy. That as a kid you grow up, because kids naturally when they grow up they see their dads as Superman. You understand? And they see their mom as the person who can fix anything in the house. You understand? So because kids usually come with whatever it is, they're crying like, yo, mom, fix this, or dad, fix this. They're like, there's that thing. So when the family unit is broken up, or the family unit is not in balance, we find all these situations going on in the society. But then that's where the role model, your first role model as a kid is your parents. Your first role. And then now, as your ambition grows bigger, then you start looking up to Obama. Okay,
but it can go both ways. And what you've painted is like the perfect scenario. But what if you have a father who is toxic? Like he teaches you how to be a man. Who's not even there. So what if you have a male figure in your life who teaches you how to be a man that you think is the right way to be a man because you know nothing else, but then you go out and you spread like
venomous. But then now you have to begin the unlearning process, the process of unlearning, because you can only do it for so long before you realize this is not the way.
Well, because the world tells you that, or what?
The world will tell you that, and also the reaction. So like, let's say whatever ideology that you got from your father or your mother is not the right ideology in the society, and it's actually a toxic ideology. Now, as you go through life, you will suffer the repercussions of being.
But you need to be aware, because you could be just suffering and saying, "Oh, poor me, I'm just suffering," and not being able to connect the dots and realize that, oh, it's because.
But again, that's why most people from suffering.
That's our suffering, yeah.
Yeah, that's why most people are suffering for one, and that's why most people, for them to actually wake up, something traumatic has to happen. Like
people,
life has to come and slap you.
I think
wake
that's
you up.
for most humans.
Like because because there's no trigger situations. That's why other people, like, there's interventions. Like because you're so much in denial. You believe you're so much in control of the situation. Denial is really strong. So you believe you're in control of the situation, and then you pull yourself out. Now, let me ask you guys, how have you guys individually dealt with this unlearning process, and just basically the unlearning process of, like you said, for example, used to really let what other people think affect you, or something, like, be like a people pleaser. So what did you do individually? What journeys did you take
It's so
individually?
funny that, I had the therapy of starting Mama Rocks. Honestly, it made me grow 100%. There were situations that happened that I couldn't run away from.
Traumatic situations.
No, it's situations in general. Okay. So it made me fierce, because like if I had to, I don't know, have a really awkward conversation with an employee, I had to do it. I can't run away from it. And once I realized I had to do it, I prepared myself to be able to do that. It's like you're forced to. So I feel like unlearning happened through getting tougher. With different necessity, different experiences happening that I had no choice but to face.
And in the process, you grew as a person.
But I think after some time, once you start realizing that you're overcoming things, you actually start inviting new challenges into your life and going for it, and getting excited by the growth.
But then that's a very slippery slope. I think because just because you stepped up to the challenge doesn't mean it worked out the first time. And easily, for most people, because we are so much ruled by fear. When most people, they end up going on the traumatic side. So like, they tried that challenge, they fell on their face, and now they are traumatized by that situation. And now whenever they think of this, they think of worst case scenario. People always now jump to worst case scenario.
Okay, I'm kind of a little bit triggered by that when you use the word traumatized. Maybe I've been fortunate. I agree that maybe something happens and someone becomes traumatized, but I feel like people need to look at trauma as a blessing rather than a curse.
Definitely.
Because it should make you sharper and be like, okay, what did I learn in that situation? So sorry, when you're talking about, you just you described how Mama Rocks has made you more resilient, right? Yeah. So I feel like for me, Mama Rocks has made me more resilient. But also I had like a relationship with someone, and maybe, I don't know, I was too giving. I was very lenient. And I didn't value myself. So I let certain things happen that I would not allow happen today at all. So that woke me up in the terms of, I need to value myself and create boundaries.
Because you went through so much pain over it.
And I wouldn't have learned any other way. Like, you could have told me, I would have been like, whatever.
The pain woke you up.
Exactly. So that's why I feel like pain is actually a blessing in disguise.
Yes, definitely. And that completely, you can choose to use that perspective, and it will actually help you. If you reframe how you see things, instead of seeing them as barriers or things that painful things, you can learn a lot from painful things. So you can learn so much.
Use them as a learning experience, not as a failure. Because what most of us, growing experience, because
like a diamond.
Yeah, growth hurts.
Because most people, we dwell on failure in the negative way in our head. You go over it over and over again, and you start judging yourself.
That's hell.
You start judging yourself.
That's a living hell.
Sorry, Moses, but in films, don't they depict hell a lot with just repetition? This maddening repetition, right? So going over something again and again in your head, that is actually hell.
And that actually sounds exactly how I would describe anxiety, which is something that I've experienced. And it's literally almost like a voice in your head repeatedly, telling you negative things. And it's a loop that is very difficult to get out of. And I think the way that I got over anxiety, there's lots of things that I chose to use to get over it, because it was something that was really bringing me down. Anxiety, you get,
stomach pangs.
And imagine if you're constantly feeling those stomach pangs.
Isn't it that feeling of, when you're in a fight or flight fear response?
Yes.
That state in between, that's anxiety, right?
Your body basically feels like you're about to go into a fight.
Yeah.
Or something
So how
like
do you
that.
switch your mentality? So for the people, like, which is majority of people who are so deep into the fear realm,
Yeah.
how do you switch? How do you make that switch from loser, like, or like pessimistic point of view to optimistic, whereby this challenge happens to you, and instead of looking at it as evidence of you being a loser, you look at it as a learning experience rather. So how can someone get from that point whereby you switch how you think, instead of immediately when something happens, instead of thinking worst case scenario, you think best case scenario?
I think just try it once.
Yeah.
Try it once and you see how different you feel.
Yeah.
Literally. Just try doing that once, and you'll see how much of a burden it takes off you.
You use so much more energy just thinking about the same thing obsessively.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you need to see each day like a clean slate. Like when you wake up tomorrow, it's a different record.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like don't forget the lessons you've learned, but you need to let go of that feeling of negativity and start believing that you're going to create your own other story. Exactly. And there is a bit of delusion in that, but I feel like it's more about harboring that feeling that things are going to go well, rather than the feeling that heaviness of, oh, here's the same again. Because it's a downward spiral. It's really hard to get out of.
It is really hard, but it does take a lot of self-delusion. It will feel like self-delusion at the beginning, but just over time, you begin to believe your own,
But I'm okay with self-delusion, because I would rather live in this fantasy world whereby all this is happening because I'm gonna be the biggest this and this in the world. That's why it's happening, even though at that moment it looks like impossible. I would rather live in that delusional world than be in a world whereby I'm just torturing myself.
Exactly.
And I found that also you need to find ways to expel this energy. So basically by keeping yourself busy with activities that will take your mind out of it.
True.
So like myself, I found like whenever I was living in this world of fear, or the fear realm, whereby I'm just thinking of the worst case scenario, the gym really came to my rescue.
Honestly, exercise is
you understand? Because you go and you expel that energy. At first you find yourself, you're so distracted, but then you just push through, and then there's a barrier. Once you pass that barrier, it's like a fear barrier that is like in your head. It's like the worst case scenario, but it's just a scenario you've created in your head. That scenario doesn't exist at all. It's not as bad as you think.
So that 1 hour you're in the gym when you're going through this kind of pushing yourself mentally, and you go through the barrier, you're like, oh, it's not that bad. Don't you think that's symbolic of life?
Yes.
Yeah.
In that 1 hour.
Yes.
And that sense of achievement in itself can give you happy vibes.
Not only that, it also instills discipline.
Yes.
Because the people the difference between the people who made it and those who didn't make it is discipline. Because discipline is that thing that gets you up when you fall down. You understand? Majority of us are living in this world whereby we've fallen down, and you imagine you're in such a deep pit that you can't get yourself out of it. Only someone else can come and pull you out. And so you keep waiting for that moment where someone will see your pain and come give you a hand and pull you out.
I love that you said that. You're waiting to be seen, to know that you exist.
So
you're going to get anywhere.
So you have this like, oh, please look, please help me. It's like a victim charity mentality of like, oh, we are suffering over here. You guys have all the money, come help us. You guys have all the abilities, come help us. But then you will be neglected long enough for you to discover that I am the only one who can pull myself out of this.
But can I also say that I feel like it's important to go through the feeling, even if it's just for one day. If you're feeling really shitty and you're feeling like down, it's okay. Go through those feelings, but go through it, cry your eyes out, and then start again. But don't live in that place.
It's
important to release.
It's really important to express the emotion. Otherwise, you keep it within yourself.
Yeah, you need to expel.
You need to expel it.
And if expelling
Whether
is
that be
tears,
crying,
it's fine.
Yeah, whatever. I know. I there was a time last year. Was it last year? The year before?
Yeah.
The start of Corona. Corona happened. There was this. Black Lives Matter was in the news constantly, and it was really affecting me. And then you had the thing here with the police brutality cases.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a negative period. And then obviously Corona had a huge impact on our business. We were worried about our staff. I'm telling you, it was our staff, the worry about our staff that came before, is our business going to survive? Yeah. So at this time, like I was really, really anxious. Every day I was worried about, what's going to happen with my business, what's going to happen with my staff. And Black Lives Matter, that whole movement was really upsetting me. And it all really got to me. It got to a point where I would go to a supermarket and I would have panic. I would have a panic attack.
It affected you.
It really affected me. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm quite a sensitive person anyway.
But then you are reliving that thing
over
and over again.
Over and over and over. And it affected me like I had, I've always kind of suffered from IBS and stuff. But it really affected my ability.
So how did you get out of that? How did you pull yourself out?
I Googled what can help with the way I was feeling, because I really wanted to be pulled out of it. And I discovered a number of things. So meditation was something that I had been thinking about doing for years, but this pushed me to actually do it. So I just downloaded an app. I think I can freely say what the app is.
Yeah.
What was it? I forgot the name of it.
Mindspace.
No.
Oh.
Mindspace.
MySpace. Was it
No,
MySpace?
it's called
Headspace.
Headspace.
MySpace.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Facebook.
sorry. That's nothing to do with anything.
Headspace app. And it's a really simple app that it just basically gives you exercises to be able to get an introduction to meditation. And
they even have videos on YouTube,
and
also and a series on Netflix.
Yeah. And just 10 minutes a day, I started doing that like regularly every day. And with meditation, it basically just allows you to be silent. Some people think meditation is like woohoo or
cheesy,
not cheesy or against Christianity
or bougie.
All meditation is literally you're silent with yourself.
Discussion with yourself. Actually, it's a dialogue.
Yeah, it's a dialogue, but it's in silence with yourself. That's just a meeting with yourself, basically, every morning, where you get to clear your head. And after meditating for a few minutes every day, I just got more in tune with myself. And I don't know. Sorry. Things just got better.
It helps because do you know how many people can sit in silence by themselves?
Yeah.
Like they torment themselves.
Can I tell you why I think that is? So I started meditating as well, probably on and off for the last 2 years, right? And it's a journey because at first you're like, oh, why am I sitting here? This is boring. What am I going to eat for dinner?
Your mind starts
What am I
wandering.
going for dinner?
This is a waste of time.
And then you don't realize that actually that mind wandering is so
That
interesting.
is meditation.
Yes.
The mind wandering is meditation.
The mind wandering, and that's why I got scared, because it takes you forget, when I was 2, this happened. And you don't realize your mind takes you to places deep that you don't even remember that you remembered.
You start
and
exploring
then you go
different
through the
parts of
journey
yourself.
and it's almost like a clearing. Like you're
Yes.
clearing things out.
Yeah.
And then you get lighter, right?
Yeah.
So I found that I didn't realize that what was happening. And then every day I did it, I found like the next day was easier. Not the meditating was easier, but the next day processing life was easier. So I don't think meditation, people think, oh, I saw bright lights, I saw this happen, and then Jesus came to me. Like, it's not, for me, it's not like that.
No, and for me, after each session, not even the next day, after each session, what would happen is my mind would be clear, everything's silent, and then all of a sudden I've got all these ideas. It like cleared so much. All these ideas for what I can do to make our business survive. And if I've got issues with, I don't know, in relationships or anything like that, it helps me to clear my mind and find solutions and plan.
And that's what's weird.
So it helps you take control of your life.
It's like things just drop in you. Like you don't even have to think. It's like answers just come.
Yeah.
And you don't know.
And the funny thing is, those answers were things which were just there.
Yeah.
But you were. It's
Your
like
mind was
you are
blocked.
forced. Your
Oh
mind
my-
was blind to it. It's like pathways that were always there, but you are so fixed on this highway.
Yeah.
You don't see other pathways.
You're not seeing all these
Give you
other
options.
It's like, do
tributaries.
you know when you have an argument with someone and then you
Yeah.
try and find your keys, you're like, but the keys are right there.
Yeah.
But because you're so angry,
Yeah.
you lose focus. And I feel like when you say people live in fear, fear is almost like the anger. You don't see everything is there because you're just living in that heightened state of
Yeah.
emotion.
You see, the energies are so fear, anger, like these are lower vibrational.
Yeah.
These are lower vibrational energies, and lower
You have to
vibration.
explain that. Yeah.
Yeah, so like anything that makes you happy is a
Yeah.
high vibrational energy. Anything that gives
That's what
you
people
the
say, I'm
opposite-
feeling high.
Yeah,
Like, you know.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
because it's a high vibration.
Mm.
Anything that does anything that you don't feel good about is a lower vibration. Anything that eats in you, anything that will affect you or someone else negatively
Yeah.
is a lower vibration. So as a feeling or as an emotion. So any emotion that makes you or someone else not feel good is a lower vibrational energy. But now the thing with lower vibrational energy, they close your mind to be one track minded. So that's why when you're in anger, you can't listen to reason.
Yeah.
That's why people usually like, yo, just let her cool off, and then go talk to her.
Because you
Because
become
it's
blind.
pointless to go have that discussion
Yeah.
when they are still at that fuming point,
Yeah.
because
Come
their
back later.
mind, the anger has just narrowed it down like this. That's why people regret whenever they do anything out of
Yeah.
anger. You regret. There's nothing you've ever done out of anger
That's good.
that you are like, I'm cool with that. No, there's not. You always you always
You always regret.
you always
There's
regret it. Yeah?
Yeah.
But everything you've done when you are happy, you're actually cool with it.
Yeah.
Everything, even if you are like, people say, you got carried away and you are too excited, it's them judging you. To be honest, it's them judging you.
There's no such
If
thing as
you-
being too excited.
If you actually go back to that point,
We experience it
in
all
your
the
mind, it still brings you that incident, still brings you the same level of joy.
Yeah.
It's just people's judgment. You're allowing people's judgment
Yeah.
Sorry,
to affect that storyline.
Yeah.
You know, you've just given an answer just then when we're saying, how do you get out of that dark place?
Mhm.
Remember the time in your life when you felt good and high.
Mm.
And then when you think about it, it's like a smell. You know, when you've been on holiday and you've used a certain
Yeah.
body lotion, for
Reminds
example,
you of
when
that
you smell
time.
that, it's like it makes you also go back and feel those emotions of positivity. So
Yeah.
if you're feeling dark, just try and remember the time you felt good instead of wallowing in the darkness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is what people need to understand, whereby as you need to define these two feelings. You need to just ask yourself, whenever you're feeling yourself dragging yourself down, just be like, is this a lower energy or a higher energy?
Yeah.
If it's a low energy, start to bring yourself up. Because here's the thing, contrary to the high energy, excitement has a peak point and then it comes back down. Sadness doesn't have a flow.
True. That's so true.
Keep going
Sadness
down.
is bottomless.
Yeah,
You understand? It's a
yeah.
bottomless pit. You can always.
But don't you think that some people
keep
like
going.
living there? Like, it gets to the point where it feels comfortable, no?
Here's the thing: the familiar,
Yeah.
we are comfortable.
Exactly.
With
It's
the
not some
familiar.
people. It's nature. It
It's
feels
nat-
natural.
you-
Not natural. It feels like it's comfortable. It's what you know. It's what you have known, isn't it? So it actually takes effort to keep going to the positive side, and I really feel like it's a choice. It
It's
really
like climbing
is a choice.
stairs, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a choice.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm feeling anxiety, actually, maybe sometimes it's excitement. There's no difference.
But you're so used to identifying the stomach rumblings with the
Yeah,
negative
that you
emotion.
How you
assume it's
identify
negative.
it.
You
It's
automatically go to the negative
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, I can feel something again in my stomach.
Yeah.
My anxiety must be coming back.
I might be exactly. I might be feeling anxiety over a workload or something, but I'm actually feeling really positive about doing that thing, and I've got this drive and I need to do it now. But that manifests itself in the same way.
Yeah, because it's a state that you've been in for so long. That's
Yeah.
all you identify with.
Yeah.
Like I told you the other day, like I was having a really good day, and I actually said to myself, "Why am I happy?"
Yes,
That's
you
not.
question it.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Because
That's
it's
good.
not normal. You're not used to it.
Yeah,
You're
and
not
your
used to it.
mind is questioning why you're happy.
Yeah, I thought that was really sad.
But then I've seen it. It's extremely sad because I've had so many comedians say comedy comes from a dark place.
Yeah.
Comedians, if you listen to
True.
all the successful comedians, they have the darkest past.
Yeah.
They weren't supposed to make it. They weren't it's like they were, I don't know, harassed as kids. They went through a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
and stuff that breaks normal people. But they manage to find a way out of it to the point whereby they can actually go back to that place, but make a joke about it and be happy about it. Like, it no longer affects them like it used to, because they numbed themselves almost to the point of like, the suffering became normal, because you have to train your brain to come back to the positive side, the point where you can actually start laughing about. So now when that sad situation happens again, you just accept it for what it is, go with the emotion, but then come back to your natural state of happiness.
Yeah.
You understand? So you have to come back to your natural state of happiness. And this is where you find a lot of people, depending on your childhood background or whatever, it determines your character as a grown-up in terms of your self-esteem and whatever, and everything else. Because if all your life you've experienced pain and fear, you find your unlearning process is harder than the person who had a happy
got a lot more
childhood.
to overcome.
But you know what? I find emotions really interesting because it's all relative, yeah? So, for example, my kind of pain might be totally different to someone living in a slum kind of pain, yeah? But it's still the same pain.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's relative.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, it has to make sense to you.
Yeah.
Because
you could feel guilty about, you know, we've got food to eat.
Yeah, so you're like, why am I complaining?
Yeah.
And then there's other people suffering. But then what you have to remember, each of us, we are living in our own worlds. We are all in your head, you are in a universe of yourself.
Yeah.
That's why whenever you see a situation happen, you automatically envision how you would react to it. Because you're living in your world. And that's why you got able to even judge other people. Like, why did you react to it like this instead of like this? Because in your world, you know better.
No, but that's why judgment is so important, not to have judgment. Because like you said, we're all our own universes, going through our own struggles.
Yeah.
So there's almost no point questioning why somebody did what they did, because I'm not in their
You're
circumstance.
judging from your perspective.
Yeah, my perspective.
You're judging from
Which
your
is a different universe
Yeah.
entirely.
And you
Completely.
can only judge from your perspective. Yeah.
No, but
You
that's
can't get
why,
someone else's head.
that's why it's so important, I feel, to bridge understanding by having
Yeah.
conversations with people who aren't normally in your walks of life,
Yeah.
because then it will enrich you as a person. Do you not think? I think sometimes we keep our lives too safe by always just kind of, like you said, being around the familiar. And I feel like we
maybe
should
put yourselves
broaden-
into different circumstances.
like, okay, for example, I can enrich my experience in life and probably fast track my ascendance to happiness if I probably hung out with a 70-year-old man, for example, who's been through life.
I get what you're saying.
I'm already prejudging and thinking, oh, he's old, I have nothing in common.
gonna
What
be
we have in common is a human experience.
Yeah.
So he could have lessons that I could learn from.
Exactly.
You know?
And what people don't realize, when you hang around someone long enough, you inherit their experiences.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go through what they went
like
through, and
watching
they
a
don't have to
movie.
go through what you went through.
Yeah.
It's like watching a movie.
That's what movies are all about, though, isn't it?
Yeah. To
Sharing
so that sharing experiences and whereby you don't have to go through it because I already went through
Like,
it.
I already know what it means to run a trap house
Yeah.
and to, like, you know, make money selling guns. I know what happens. The story is I die.
Yeah, you know how the story starts and how it ends.
Yeah.
You know how all the temptations that come in it.
Yeah.
Like all these Hollywood celebrities who are like, watch out for Hollywood, watch out for this, or they're like, don't take your kids to Hollywood. This what happens.
Yeah.
Because when you were growing up, you glorified Hollywood. You're like, yo, if I have the opportunity, I would take my kids there, or I would go there myself. But then now the ones who've been there are like, yo. In case, if you, first of all, you have to really think about it. And if you're still thinking about it and you are like, no, I want my kids to just follow their dreams, whatever, then be aware of this, and this, so that you don't suffer what we suffered. And I think this is what we get from even these convicted, I don't know, pedophiles or whatever. The R. Kellys, the Michael Jacksons, and I don't know how we got there, but I'm going there. This is the story
Well, technically, Michael Jackson wasn't convicted, but yeah.
I'm all the stories across the board.
Yeah.
Of all these people who in Hollywood or in any other industry, you find that it goes back to their childhood. That's something that happened that their parents were not aware of.
That's so true.
And now they because they went through it, and now this is the outcome of their life.
Yeah.
We coming after them, you're like, oh, watch out for these signs, watch out for these signs, watch out for these signs. If your kid shows signs of this and this and this,
Now you know what to look for.
How many times nowadays do we hear of if your kid tells you they don't like a certain person, listen to them? You understand? But before we would just ignore
Ignore
that.
it.
Yeah.
But now, because the people who've gone through that stuff,
They know what the signs
who are
are.
now adults,
Yeah.
they
They're
are
able to
telling
share their
you,
experience.
they're telling you, yo, if your kid tells you they don't like that person, please listen to them. They don't. There's a reason why.
No, but okay. So to latch onto your point, we did Landmark Forum, which is like a course that is about self-discovery, right? And they said exactly what you just said. Your formative years, all the years up until the age when you're 13,
Yes.
is when you build who Moses is or who Samantha
Yes,
is, right?
yes,
Well,
yes.
build your idea
Your idea
who-
of, and it's
Yes.
based on incidences that happen,
Experiences.
right? And that is where your perception is born, right?
Yes.
So between after 13 onwards, if you're aware enough, it's about how do I undo all the years from 1 to 13 that were negative?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but even at 13, you're not. So at 13, you're not even thinking about that, obviously.
No, you're
So, so these changes don't start happening until
much later.
30s.
Yeah.
When you start realizing, it's your 30s when pressure starts hitting.
But that's when they say never let go of the child inside you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Moses.
Because the kids are
Why do you say it like that?
Because he said I'm too much of a child. And I'm like, no, I'm going to hang on to my child spirit.
I don't recall this.
I remember everything you
I don't
say.
recall.
That's like,
I don't
yeah.
recall.
right.
Anyway. But that's the thing though. Kids are the most optimistic beings on earth.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Like and also kids represent purity.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about reaching inwardly, looking inwardly, and finding that inner person. That inner person is the kid in you, because that inner person represents God, and God is that kid, the kid inside you, because a child is a symbol of purity.
Pure.
And what's God? God is purity. Yeah? So the kid inside you represents the God inside you, and when you reach out to that kid, you find your true essence, because a kid is non-biased. A kid is not influenced by materialism. A kid is not influenced by anything.
Yeah.
Kids just want to have fun.
Yeah.
And they have the biggest dreams. You know, a kid will tell you the most ridiculous thing in the world.
And they're not past experiences hasn't affected them yet.
Yeah,
No,
because
that's
I
what
think
the
because they
purity's
forget.
about. Yeah.
Ask a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
What happened? Like, they probably fell down the climbing frame.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no,
Yeah,
fine, I
let's
had
go on
fun.
again.
Yeah,
And they moved on.
they moved on. They
Like,
couldn't
a
even
kid
remember.
can be crying 1 minute, you make a joke over here, they start laughing.
Yeah.
They, move on. They don't hold on to grudges.
Like I was
They,
in
they
the,
move on with their
I was
life.
in the mall the other day. The kid like was running, fell on the ground, cried for 2 seconds, got up and got distracted and started laughing about something else. So that tells me that we need to start living in the present.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Crap happens, but move on.
Exactly.
You know.
Be more
and
present.
be optimistic that it won't. Better, so it won't happen again. Or there can be there's an advancement that you've made to yourself. So you'll be better prepared for a similar circumstance in future. So it's not going to go
The
way it
same
went
way.
last time. Yeah.
And by being present, you don't dwell on the past.
Yeah, exactly.
So whether it's past trauma or past excitement, you don't get stuck there, because also there's something I've noticed with these old timers who like they had a good time in the 80s, and now they're just stuck
They
in the
just wanna recreate
80s,
it
and
for
so they're
life.
just like back in my day,
Yeah.
back in my day,
Yeah.
back in my day, and now they just sound like an old record,
Yeah.
and they start getting old because they're so
Before
fixed
their
on a time.
Yeah.
But then how you maintain your youth? By being present.
Exactly.
You maintain being young by being
Exactly.
present.
Yeah.
Because
can
you're
you-
always staying
Can you help
constant.
me with this conundrum then, right?
Uh-huh.
So one time I made a smoothie and it had beetroot in it. Really strong beetroot, yeah?
Uh-huh.
And I drank it. I thought, cool, it tastes really nice. Within 2 seconds, I was sick. Like I was throwing up. You were there, remember?
Yeah.
I was just randomly throwing up.
Yeah.
Today, I can't look at a beetroot. That was just that one beetroot that made me sick. Yeah, it doesn't mean all beetroots are going to
Yeah.
make me sick. But it's almost like, it seems like a random story, but it's like life. Say if, I don't know, a female or anyone like abused me and they had blonde hair, I'm going to be triggered every time I see a blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what do you suggest then to get rid of triggers?
By judging every situation as it
Fresh.
comes.
It's easy to say that, but how do you unfeel that?
No, it's not. Again, you see, like the example you use of a kid
Yeah.
who falls down, rides a bike, falls down, they start crying, they've scraped their knee and everything. The next second, they're playing football, or that kid will not be discouraged to go back to riding a bike. You understand? It's like a learning experience. Now, when it was one particular thing like fire that burnt you, you automatically know fire will burn me.
Yeah.
But then if it was like something like experiential, like riding a bike or running down the stairs, you just make it a learning experience. Like I should be more careful while running down the stairs, or I shouldn't run down the stairs anymore. But then that won't stop you from running down the stairs. So that's how people should even treat life, because you find like someone was so abused in a certain past relationship, they're like all men are like this, or all women are like this. Yeah, but then now you fix again. The energy you put out there is the energy you will attract.
Yeah.
So if your energy is always all men are dogs, that is all you will attract. Because
So it's
even
about maintaining your innocence, your childlike mind, maintaining that.
and going one step at a time. Just using it as a learning experience. So what characteristic did the man you call a dog have? And is it a general characteristic, or is it just unique to them? Just the same way as falling down the stairs, it won't make you not go down the stairs again.
Yeah, but Moses, how do I differentiate between the fire and the stairs, right? Because a fire is fired. It doesn't matter how many times I reimagine fire, it's going to burn me, right? But the stairs, obviously, I can exercise more caution when going up and down the stairs. So how do I feel like sometimes there are just truths, yeah? Like if you're an evil person.
Stuff happens. Yeah.
No, I feel like the fire is a core truth, right? So no matter what happens, I'm going to get burnt, right? But there are some truths that are more flexible, like the stairs. So how do you tell the difference between the two?
I feel like there's nothing which is fixed, because even the fire situation, you can still use the same fire to cook your meals.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Again, so it still
It's not
depends.
inherently evil.
Yeah, it's not inherent. It's just an energy that's there. Because the same person that you're calling a dog, there's an ex who's like, that's the best boyfriend I ever had.
Yeah, it's about perspective.
It's about perspective.
And whatever situation happened, to between them.
And you have to remember, you're looking at it from your perspective.
Guys, I've just uncovered the truth.
What?
One guarantee is everything always changes.
Exactly.
That's the rule. That's the fire rule.
Everything,
for me.
even the dog, the guy you're calling a dog, or the woman you're calling a hoe.
In 10 years' time, there could be the
even
best
next
boyfriend.
year.
Yeah.
Because people are going through life.
Yeah.
Maybe last month she went through a certain dramatic situation that she changed her whole life direction.
So the lesson then is we need to not react to, right? Things change all the time. So we need to be able to be flexible and not react.
Don't be fixed.
Yeah.
Don't be
unless like you're
water. Be like water.
Like water.
And until you're proven right.
Yeah.
You understand? So you have an what's it called? Absorbent state of mind, whereby you're just open to absorbing anything that comes your way. Because when you look at water, when an object falls in water doesn't fight against the thing. The thing will just go up to the surface of the water and then chill at the bottom of the water. And then it's like the water will start to study this thing. Like they've done studies whereby they put poison inside like a glass sealed bottle. Yeah. And like sealed vacuum, and then they drop it inside water. And then they leave it for like 3 days and then they remove it. This thing hasn't leaked or anything. But then this water becomes poisonous because the water resonates with whatever is inside it. And that's what we are. Because we remember we are what? 90% water, 70%
water.
We are 70%
so we
water.
Just pick up
so
things.
we pick up vibes. Human beings, living beings, we pick up vibes by what is around us. So if you are surrounded by so much pain, everything you experience, you'll relate to it with pain because that's all you're familiar with.
So how do you protect your vibes then? So say if you walk into a room, everyone's felt this. You walk into a room, there's been an argument. You don't necessarily need to talk to those two individuals. You just know something has happened, right? How do you protect yourself from those vibes?
If you don't resonate, get yourself out of there.
Yeah.
If you walk into a situation or if you're in a situation and it's not resonating with who you are, if you're sitting next to someone who you're not resonating with, by continuing to tolerate them because you're being polite, you're now torturing yourself.
And you're not being yourself.
And you're not being yourself because you're not being true to yourself.
That's your instinct talking to you.
Man. Your instinct is like, yo. I don't like the vibes. You know, when you never met this person, you meet them for the first time and you're like, I don't like this.
Like you.
I don't like Listen to that. Listen to that because that person is that poison that's been dropped in that water. And then the longer you stay around them, the more they penetrate you. You understand? Because negative energies are imposing.
Yeah.
Positive energies I'll ask for permission.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't force you to laugh.
Yeah.
It has to resonate with you, but I can force you to cry.
But
Yeah, true.
don't you think sometimes your body talks to you before your mind even can form it into language? Like,
Because your body is spiritual, your mind is scientific. You get me? Your mind is one track minded. Your body is like octagonal, octagonal, like all is eight cornered. Like your body, like the spiritual. You seen the atomic structure of a snowflake.
like
Yeah.
It has all. It's like octagonal, and then it has all these points. That's
I think it's called a tetrahedron or something like
yes. So that's the
I
spiritual
hope that's
element.
right.
Well, if not, it is now.
Oh well, there's Google.
Just made
People
it right.
they'll have to Google it. Yeah, but then that's your body. Your body absorbs all round energy. Your mind is one track minded though, because your mind is looking for logic.
Yeah.
If there's no logic, but now we are living in a world
It's
where
very
logic,
much of a scientist.
we focus so much on the logic, we ignore the spiritual side. Yet they are supposed to be married. They are supposed to
Coexist. Yeah.
Yeah, because everything you do in life is based on instinct.
Yeah.
You understand? Like you naturally will use your brain and your instincts to make certain decisions. Because sometimes certain things make sense to you, but then they don't feel right. And you don't end up doing them, even though they made sense.
Yeah, you
There's
just have a
certain
feeling about it.
businesses, there's certain businesses that have a lot of money, but they don't feel right to you.
Yeah.
So you end up not doing them. You end up choosing this business that makes way less cash. Logically, the other business makes more money. You should have gone with that one. But instinctively, you don't resonate with that business. That's why you chose this business.
So one time I ignored my instinct and I walked down a road and there was a guy in the phone box and he I don't know why I'm laughing because it's not a funny story.
I remember this.
It's not a funny story.
Yeah.
And he just kind of looked at me and my body told me, Natalie, run. So
I decided not to run.
No, so I started to walk fast. He goes, excuse me, my house is on fire. I need to make a phone call. Do you have any money? And I was like, no, sorry, I don't have any money. He goes, give me your phone. And I was like, I literally gave him my last bit of money because I was that scared. And I went to the house and I called the police and the police went around looking for him. But
This
I
is
feel
in
like-
London.
Yeah,
This is in
yeah,
London.
it's London here.
This shit don't happen in
Yeah,
Kenya.
yeah,
In
no,
Kenya.
unfortunately.
In Kenya, cops will be like, but you gave him the money, yes? Willingly?
go.
Willingly. So
No, but it made me feel that I should always listen
always.
to my
To-
body.
Always.
Yeah, and
to
I ignored it. And
intuition.
whenever I ignore it,
Always.
something always happens to say, hey, I told you.
But I feel like that's what meditation allows you to do. It refines your intuition. If you think
puts
about
you in
it-
touch with your body more.
Yeah, which is your intuition.
Yes.
Your intuition is your guide, your guidance that is emitted from you, from your higher self.
From your inner being.
Yes.
From however you want to call it. Whatever makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Because this thing, like depending on whatever denomination you come from, you'll call it a different. Some people call it the guardian angel.
Guardian
Okay.
angel, yeah. I haven't
Yeah.
heard that in a long time.
Yeah, people call it the guardian angel.
Or even
People-
Jesus or God
People
speaking
call
to you.
people say Jesus take the wheel. When you say
Yeah.
Jesus take the wheel, that's the same thing you're
Yeah.
talking
Like
about.
let go and let God.
Yeah, let's go,
Yeah.
let go. That's we call it intuition. I call it my inner self.
We're just giving it labels, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's the
It's the
same,
same
force.
thing.
But
Like
you
it's
need
the
to
same thing.
allow yourself space to be able to hear that inner voice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's so many distractions around,
So
you know,
much
social
noise.
media.
We
you've
have
got
so
to be
much
on your
noise in our
phone,
brain.
You got work to do. You know, your brain's being stretched left,
You
right, and
become
center.
an enemy of yourself.
Yes, exactly.
You are because
because you're
neglecting
distanced from yourself.
and you start dying.
Yes.
You start dying internally.
Yeah, I think I also slowly I used to, maybe I've noticed this pattern now. Whenever I feel stressed,
Yeah.
I always lean to go towards sugary
Yeah,
food.
I've seen you
like
recently.
sweets. Like I don't even want food. Like, but that's symbolic that
Yeah.
I need energy. Yeah.
Mm.
Instead of cultivating the energy from I'm trying to look
Yeah,
externally to grab energy to put in
exactly.
my body.
Exactly. And other people do things like, you know, go on a mad sex rampage or, you know,
Alcohol.
they've got vices. Yeah,
Yeah.
other vices.
That's what advice is. I feel,
Yeah.
wow.
to try and replenish something that's missing.
That's missing. Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to find a way in terms of how you can give yourself the same feeling.
No, but I'm impatient because in that moment that feels good.
But
Just
That's
it's
part,
not
but
a
that's
solution.
part of your character anyway.
Gratification.
Or impatient.
No, you know this about yourself. You're impatient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, that's something that I need to work on.
So I'm just saying, just allow yourself to take control.
Yeah, and to sit in it
Yeah.
and align myself again.
Yeah.
Feel the
It's
pain.
not going to be an immediate
Yeah.
fix.
Feel the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's
Let
tough.
it sit in. No, it's tough.
I'd rather have some Skittles.
if you are across that barrier, you have to be comfortable with feeling pain.
Yeah.
This is something people we so much people want to go from 0 to 60.
Yeah.
And they forget
Takes
they
time.
forget that this journey is where all the lessons
It's a journey.
Yeah, but I feel like people, or in my experience, have lost their patience because you say go through the journey, right? Back in the 70s, films used to be 3 hours and you could sit through loads of dialogue.
Yeah.
Now it's like action. Let's think.
Because
let's
we're in the
blow
era
up.
of
Internet.
gratification.
Yeah.
I can get a train within 1 minute.
Yeah,
Things have changed.
I have porn right there at my reach. You get me? Like
You don't need to go to brothel. You just put in
yeah,
www.
yeah.
dot-
Shortcuts.
Yeah.
Shortcuts. You get. That's why even the what's it called Avengers movies were getting so much slack from the Scorsese's and whoever's, where the old school filmmakers, they're like, yo, nowadays we can't even build a story.
Yeah.
We can't build a
Yeah,
story
it doesn't give
because
it-
everything
it's not
is
given enough
action,
time.
action,
Yeah.
end. Action. So there's no story.
But what scares me about everything we're saying, it shouldn't scare me. An observation I've made is our relationships dying, and I don't just mean like sexual ones, I mean platonic ones, because I feel like if people just want like it's transactional, give it to me now, quick.
Yeah,
what
life
happened
has
to
been-
conversation? What
Life
happened
has become
to
transactional.
appreciating one another?
And I
you
think
know?
that's partially why more and more people are feeling that kind of stress and anxiety and depression, because they haven't formed that. They haven't had. Nowadays, it's so busy and so fast. People aren't taking the time to form those relationships and have that support network as well.
So people are starved of connection.
Yes.
So, and to the point where, like someone like me, I have a problem even making friends now because I'm a connection kind of guy. But because that is so rare, when you actually talk to someone genuinely, like wanting to know them, they think you're after something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm just genuinely like, yo, what are you doing later? You understand? You
They're
feel
not
like,
used to it.
you feel
at
like
all.
you're my kind of person. What are you doing later?
Yeah.
And then, like because we become so transactional, even there's no real friendships. Like even with same-sex people. From girlfriend to girlfriend, boyfriend, or dudes to dudes, not boyfriend to boyfriend. Dudes to dudes, and even just general all-round friendships. There's no everything is very transactional. Like if you're coming to talk to me, there's something you want.
Yes.
So whenever you just walk up to me, I just start looking at you like, okay, so what you want? Just get to the point. What do you want? So I start figuring out, okay, what does this person want? What does this person want? And then you end up losing out on something that could have been very beautiful.
Exactly. But do you know how I know when something isn't right? And I think you said this before, and I thought that is so true. If you can't sit in silence with someone comfortably, then you're not vibing. I feel like there's something wrong. And I always feel like when I'm trying to fight to make conversation and it feels forced, then
if there's awkwardness, for example, basically if this, but then it means you're not. Let me tell you something. When you are comfortable with yourself, you won't even notice the awkwardness. When you're sitting in silence, that person is the one who will notice the awkwardness. The only time you notice the awkwardness is when you're also trying too hard. I feel like when you're in a situation where you find yourself thinking about what to say, just be silent. No, just be cool. And not awkwardly silent like you remove your phone, because now that's dismissive.
something. No,
that's dismissive a bit.
No, but Samantha seen me do. I do that to the max. I just exercise silence, and she's like, Natalie, are you okay with the things being uncomfortable? But I feel like I'm always trying to test myself, so I do that to see how I feel.
Someone
like
who's
a social
comfortable.
experiment.
Yeah. You like doing those things.
Yeah.
But someone who's comfortable, someone who genuinely wants to hang out with you, or who actually is just chilling the same way you're chilling, the silence won't be awkward, because they're cool. Because awkwardness comes when someone is feeling off, or when someone is feeling a level of pressure. And
But couldn't it be your intuition telling you that person's not right for you?
You staying silent, or what?
No, the feeling of awkwardness. Could that not be your body telling you that maybe this person is...
Yeah, when your body's telling you this was not right for you, you will also know. It won't be like you're guessing. It will be a clear message in your brain. It'll just be clear, like yeah, I don't feel this person, or we have nothing in common, or they're just boring. You guys do not gel. Your sense of humor.
We haven't got nothing in common. Yeah.
You have just so sometimes it's just you guys you don't gel.
I don't think anyone's really boring. I just reckon they haven't discovered themselves yet. If you think that they're boring, do you know what I mean? I don't think anyone's really boring.
I think some people need some time to be able to express themselves, and they haven't quite figured that out yet.
No, no.
Some-
But what's
go on.
boring? Boring is basically someone who's into things you're not into.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Actually,
boring.
yeah.
Because the person you're describing as boring has friends.
Maybe.
They are friends. The person you're describing as boring, they are friends. So what are their friends seeing in them? Because they have something in common.
Or
with those
maybe they're not
friends.
expressing that side of themselves or an interesting side to you. Maybe they don't feel that they connect with you.
Well, have you ever met a boring child?
Yeah, I have actually.
Oh,
Really? A boring child?
wow.
There's children who are like adults
Wow.
from birth. I've seen a couple of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're just very. Yeah. Anyway,
I
this
haven't
is
come across
besides
that.
this is off the topic. a
No,
little.
I'm mentioning that because we were saying that the child state is our most natural state. And
Yeah.
I'm saying it's not natural for us, for
That's
people
why
to be
that
boring.
that's
And
why
if-
that kid stood out.
No, but I think I don't know, because when you go to the kids park or whatever, or in the nursery schools.
You go to nursery schools.
No,
the
I'm
kids'
saying
parks.
when you go to a nursery school or wherever kids, when you come, let's say with your nephew, niece, or whatever, to a place where is a kid's playground, all these kids are strangers. Yeah, you just see this nephew or niece just run in,
Yeah.
and they just start socializing.
And making friends.
Yeah, just making
Yeah.
friends. There's zero
Yeah,
judgment.
they don't
There's no such thing as
When did
that
you
friend
lose
is boring,
that?
that friend is
Yeah.
boring. Because there's zero judgment in kids.
Yeah.
Kids want to learn. Kids have an open mind. Kids are like, you look interesting. What are you into? Oh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then they want to see what you're doing. And they're like, I did this last year. And then they leave you.
And then at some point, it just gets harder to make friends,
Yeah.
like to
Because
make those
judgment
connections.
sets in.
Judgment,
The society starts
Yeah.
to rule us.
Yeah.
The older we get, the more we start
Yeah.
allowing the society to rule us.
Yeah, and we start.
But kids don't care about
rejecting
society.
people.
That's why with kids don't have tribalism. They don't have racism. They don't have. The other kid could be I don't know, suffering from vitiligo.
Vitiligo. And they'll be
Vitiligo.
curious. They'll
And
be
the
like,
kids just
what's
like,
that?
what's going on
Yeah.
with you?
Yeah.
Like, so I got this thing called.
Like,
They're just
cool.
open.
And they're like,
Open,
oh wow,
yeah.
okay, zero judgment,
Yeah.
We need to go back to that state
Yeah.
of mind.
Yeah.
If as adults we had that state of mind, I think we would have a peaceful world.
Maybe we just assassinate everyone above the age of 5 as a way forward. That's my political campaign.
But you realize that would include you.
Yeah,
only us included, like not included.
You want to live in a world of kids.
In the culling.
a world full of kids.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, I take that all back.
What are you? I'll kill you.
Sorry.
Anyway,
So, what are some other things that you think like help
pull
through
yourself
these
out of
struggles?
this.
Mm.
I just believe because there are certain times where you're in such a dark place, and no matter how positive you are, you don't see a way out. It's like at this particular point in time, this feels like it's gonna last forever. Yes, and we've all been there. No matter how positive you want to be, we've all been in a situation whereby I feel like my situation is not gonna change anytime soon. And everything is telling you to give up.
Yeah.
But my experience is whenever you hit this point,
Keep
you are
pushing.
just at the surface of breaking through.
Yeah.
That saying of it's darkest before dawn. You are literally just, if you could just hold on just a little bit longer, you're about to just pass through. But then most of us just get there. This cartoon meme that has been going viral for, I don't know, the last 10 years, whereby they're showing these two people digging for diamonds. And then one is just about to get to
The diamonds.
there's a wall here. And they just need to do one more
more
strike,
hack.
and there's
Yeah.
like 1,000 diamonds.
Yeah.
And then
They
there's
walk
the
away.
dude behind them has hit their one diamond. Like they have just one wall, and that wall has just one diamond. And then they hit their wall, they get their diamond, and like,
Right
I
away.
got my diamond, and they're flossing it to you, and then they walk away. And then you leave your wall, you turn, you're like, okay, that's where must be all the diamonds are. And then you turn around, and then you leave your treasure. You get, but
Can you imagine how many people's lives that represents? Can you imagine?
it represents a
Just on the precipice of something great.
you're just there, and you're just there, and you need to realize the bigger your ambition, or the bigger your dream, or the bigger the thing you're chasing,
thicker the wall.
the more difficult it is going to be. We keep forgetting this, and then you start comparing yourself with other people. This is why it's important for you to know yourself. You need to understand that everyone has their own journey. and we are not in a competition.
So you can't compare yourself to somebody else
Yeah.
because our struggles are different.
Yeah.
There's this
It's
story
like
of
we're playing
the
different computer games.
exactly.
Mm.
There's this story of the elephant and the dog. I don't know if you guys heard it.
No, tell us.
Uncle Moses.
Elephant and the dog.
So the elephant and the dog were best friends, yeah?
Yeah.
And then they both got pregnant at the same time.
With each other.
No, individually.
Okay.
They got pregnant individually. They were both females. They were both females, okay? They were both females. They got pregnant at the same time and they started fantasizing of how they're going to raise their kids. They're going to take how best friends talk. Like, we're going to take our kids to the same school.
Yeah.
We're going to do this.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later, the dog bears kids. It's like, it has like 6 kids. After 3 months, the elephant is not even showing at this point yet. Because your elephants take 24 months.
9 months.
No.
Oh, no, you're
No,
right.
it's a
18.
lot.
18 months.
18.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it's a long time.
It's like 2
Yeah.
years. I know it's roughly
Yeah,
2 years, and 2
yeah.
years is what, 24 months.
Yeah.
Because 1 year is 12 months, yeah. So elephants take like roughly 24 months to give birth. So their pregnancy lasts for 2 years. The dog's pregnancy lasts for 3 months.
Yeah.
So the first 3 months end, and the dog has 6 kids. The elephant is not even showing at this time. And the dog's like, yeah, what's up with your pregnancy? And then another 3 months, the dog has got pregnant again and gave birth to 6 more
Yeah.
kids. The elephant's still not showing.
Yeah.
So the dog started dogging the elephant. It's
What's
like,
wrong
yo,
with
I
you?
think there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
I really believe there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
I think you are cursed. And shit like this. And so the elephant started going into depression, going into
Yeah.
depression, going into
It
depression.
doesn't know itself.
It doesn't know itself.
Like, I'm an elephant.
Because this is how we look at life.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, every 3 months, the dog is just dropping like mixtapes, dropping kids like mixtapes, dropping kids like mixtapes. You get me? just every 3 months, yeah, I got 6 more. I got 6 more.
Yeah. And another one.
And then, but the elephant got to a point where, like, I'm not gonna listen to this dog. I'm just gonna be me.
Yeah.
I know I'm pregnant, because at some point the elephant started asking, "Am I actually even pregnant?"
Yeah.
You get me? But then the elephant got to a point where, like, you know what? I'm gonna shut off this noise. I'm just gonna focus on myself.
Did the elephant kill the dog?
No.
Oh.
So after 24 months,
That would have been a better story, right?
After 24 months, the elephant gave birth to 1 kid. And then, so the dog is like, 2 years later, just 1? I dropped 6 every 3 months. Just 1? Yeah, now I've confirmed you are actually cursed.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, people are coming from everywhere, all over the world to come see this
Yeah,
1 kid.
Yeah.
So the dog was confused. The dog was like, why? What's the big deal? I've been dropping kids like mixtapes. What's the big deal with the elephant's kid? And then the elder can be the tortoise. I don't know. The elder gave the example of, like, you see, it's normal to see baby dogs.
Yeah.
We even run over baby dogs when we drive. No one cares about a dog that's been run over in the street. But no one's going to run over an elephant baby. When an elephant gives birth, that's a special occasion. Not to mention the lifespan of this elephant baby is going to be way, like 1,000 times way longer than
one of your dogs.
than the dogs.
Dog
Anyway,
pups.
the moral of the story was, we all have our own journey.
Yeah.
Don't judge your journey with other people's journeys.
Yeah.
You might have that one diamond. These people just have copper or silver or whatever. You don't use, and that's the world we are living in. We keep judging ourselves with other people's achievements.
Where did you hear that story? That's such a great story.
I forget. I had it. I did not originate this
It has
story.
to be
though.
made
I
into a
had-
book. Yeah, that's a really nice story.
It's a
Yeah.
nice kids book.
Yeah, it's really nice.
But that's the thing. That's the source of depression. Because imagine if the elephant decided to listen to the dog and dive into depression and even go commit suicide,
Yeah. Yeah.
then that's the end of the story.
End of potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
End of potential.
Yeah.
But now, when the elephant gave birth, that's when it realized, oh, I'm an elephant. I've been competing with dogs.
Yeah.
I am an elephant. I had
Realizing
forgotten
who she is.
Yeah, I had forgotten who I am.
Yeah.
I am an elephant. You get me?
No, it's okay. On a more superficial level about trying to keep yourself high when you're going through hard times,
Yeah.
I find that simple things like having a regular shower or even creating like a bath where you put
When
like,
did you not have a regular shower?
Yeah, I know,
to
I'm
know the difference. Just wondering.
No, but water, I find water quite therapeutic.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like showering 3 times a day or 2. That's what,
Yeah. No, for me, my ultimate, I don't have
Baths.
a bath,
Yeah.
by the way, but my ultimate fantasy is to own a bath. and just lay in it, because that's honestly, it brings so much peace just being in water with maybe some bubble bath.
Or even looking at water.
Yeah,
Going to
true.
the coast, looking at the ocean.
And nature in general. I feel like being in nature, in I don't know, a forest or, you know, any kind of green space, it reconnects you.
Yeah.
It grounds you.
Yeah.
It reconnects you, and it just makes you feel peaceful and calm. It's like the trees are soothing you. Yeah.
It might sound super obvious, but it is. It's like standing in the middle of a crossroads in the middle of Nairobi compared to standing in Kura Forest.
Yeah.
How do you feel in each of those situations? So it's
Yeah.
obvious that to feel more centered and grounded, go to Kura Forest.
You need to be away from all the chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we hope that these small anecdotes. Yeah.